Alright, so now I'm going to speak a little bit more about the actual 5 questions of the human heart, which is the key to spiritual connection. And one thing I want to have is a little bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this video is that my belief is as much as you can treat certain symptoms of causes, it's so much better to, instead of looking at a medicine which is curative, it's better to look at preventative. And so if you're able to, then it's so much better to not necessarily put yourself into a place of being distracted by that devil, so that you don't have to keep on going through these 5 questions of the human heart and constantly reminding yourself as to, getting the answers of the human heart. It's so much better to just, once you've answered them, to then stick with the answers by understanding that you no longer want to be distracted. Now, it's totally fine if from time to time you are distracted. We're human beings at the end of the day, and the devil can be quite persuasive and take some toll on us. But really, you want to become somebody who, over time, is getting better at managing the devil within, and is no longer becoming so much of a victim towards the distraction. And so one of the things that you can be doing to prevent yourself from getting distracted all the time is that in the time frame that you're going to be either looking to do some introspection or you're looking to work, is that you go to airplane mode on your phone. For example, right now, if you're watching this on your laptop or on your device, like really you want to have all the other notifications like silenced, so that nobody else can get in touch with you. You want to be in a space where nobody can come and distract you. Like the library, for example, people study in the library because there's no distractions there, or not as many distractions in terms of noise. So noise comes in the form of so many different ways, and if you're able to remove those distractions when you're working, that's one thing that you can do that will definitely help. Another thing that helps is by when you're not working, what do you do then, right? Because those things can still distract you away from knowing the answers to the human heart. So television, for example, television is like the biggest distraction that a person can have. Other than social media, I'd say social media is probably the number one right now in the modern world that we live in. But television, social media, media in general, newspapers, all these things are just distracting you with things that don't necessarily help you in living your God life, right? It's not going to help you to create your God life, because they're not teaching you the things that you need to be able to be taught to get towards where you want to go. It's just mass distribution of media that is going to be entertainment to the majority of people. They know that from the scientific trials that they've done in order to figure out what is it that makes the human psychology tick when it comes to them being addicted to getting dopamine hits and addicted towards the cortisol that people get when they watch things like the news. And so really what you want to do is remove the TV as a distraction completely. If you have a TV in your house right now, the best thing you can do is hook it up to your laptop so that you can watch things which are like genuinely going to be helpful for you. Use it as a second monitor, a second screen, but don't use it as something where you're going to be just listening to the programs, the TV programs, because they're just programming your mind in a certain way. Not listening to the TV programs, programming your subconscious, your heart, to believe certain things, right? That's the last thing that you want. Same thing with social media. Social media, the algorithm is just literally there to keep you as a zombie on the platform, so that you're constantly scrolling, and they've got your attention, which can then be sold to other people like myself. Now the thing is, when I buy your attention, I'm making sure that I'm doing something with it that's going to be helpful for you. That's my intention. So with what I was saying about the distractions is that you want to prevent more so than cure. But now we're in a space where it's time to cure, because we've built through our entire lifetimes an accumulation of distraction. And when we're kids, for example, this is such an easy thing that you can ask them and they'll just know the answer like that, right? Because they come to this earth with the answers encoded in them. So all of us have these encoded within us, and it never is taken away because it's so deep and spiritual within us. It's like our energy, our core. But there's just things on the surface that block us from being able to see. It's kind of like when you have clouds in the sky. It blocks out the sun, it blocks out the light. And that's what happens through these distractions. It blocks out the actual light within us, which is the answer and the truth. So the 5 questions of the human heart, I'm going to get into this, and this is how you're going to be able to cure yourself and unlock that piece of you. I'm not going to go into the exercises yet. That's going to be for future videos. But right now I'm just going to go through what those 5 questions are. So the number one question that you want to write down is the question which is fundamental, and that is, who am I, right? Who am I? Which is the question that gives the answer to your identity. That's what that is. What is your truest identity? Who are you at your very core? Because if you know who you are, you also know how authentic that you're being and how away from that you are as well. Are you being fake? Are you living as somebody else? You're living somebody else's dream, somebody else's reality. Somebody else is telling you to be a certain type of way, an employee, when really your spirit is an entrepreneur. Or somebody's telling you that you gotta go into sports when really you're supposed to be a dancer, an actor. Like, you are the person who knows who you are, and it's based upon how you feel. Every single one of these questions, when you get an answer, you have to check in with how you feel about that particular thing. So if you were to visualize yourself as that identity of the person who is a successful entrepreneur, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel excited? Does that make you feel happy? Does that make you feel like it's just right? Or does it make you feel disturbed? And if it does make you feel completely disturbed and like you're repulsed by it, then it's probably not your true identity and who you're supposed to be. Maybe what makes you feel good is being a father, right? Being a husband. Whatever it is, that's your true identity. And you got to write that down once you know exactly what it is, and keep it very much close within you, in your close proximity, so that you never forget what that answer is. The next question is a question of, where am I from? So what is your source? That's this one. So the first one is identity, the second one is your source. Where am I from? Where have you come from? Right? And this is not just where you come from in terms of, oh, I'm from the UK or I'm from the US. This is like where you come from on an energetic level, a spiritual level. And understanding that fundamentally is going to help you so much in being able to connect spiritually with that higher power, right? Then the third one is, why am I here? Why am I here? So this is now going into your purpose. And so many people say that, I don't know what my purpose is, right? I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I don't have a reason to be waking up or whatever it is. And that's simply because they're not living in purpose. The beautiful thing about purpose is that once you have it, then you can experience lasting happiness, because that is the highest level of happiness, the ultimate good that I spoke about first. So when you have that purpose, that sense of purpose, and you work on that, that's the true work. Because having a job is not really work. There's a difference between your job and your work. And you want to work harder on your dreams and your work, as opposed to working harder on your job like most people do. Right? You can turn up at a job if you want, because it's a vehicle that will take you towards where you want to be. But make sure that you're working harder on the actual vehicle, which will take you towards the moon or another continent, as opposed to being the dead vehicle, which is the job, which is only a temporary solution. Then you have the fourth one, which is, what can I do? Right? So the question is, what can I do? And this question unlocks an answer, which is of your potential. It is your ability. So you want to write that down, because when you know what your unique ability is, your unique gift, then you can lean into that as your authentic self, and nobody else can beat you on that particular thing. I mean, great examples are people like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams. These people have unlocked a certain part of themselves, which is their unique gift that nobody else can match them on, and they've just gone all in into that. Someone like Beyonce, with her beautiful voice, like, she's unlocked a part and tapped into that nobody else can beat them on. So you want to think to yourself, what is it that makes you unique? What makes you you? Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they've all unlocked a certain part of themselves that no one else can match. And so that's your unique ability, right? That I believe that there is no such thing as talent apart from hard work that creates talent in the future. But I also believe that when it comes to having a unique gift, you can work as hard as you want, but if somebody else has a little bit of an advantage, because that's why they came to this earth, is their reason for being, their purpose, and they came with the unique abilities to live that purpose, then you are never going to be able to get to the certain point that they're going to be able to get to if you both put in the same level of work and effort. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't overtake that person, because they might not put in the effort. And that's the beautiful thing, is that some people don't necessarily put in the effort, so the competition isn't that high. But in every single field, you're going to find that there are people who are living their purpose, because that's why they came to this earth. So if you're trying to get to the top of the game, you will never be able to get to the top of the game unless it's your unique gift. So That's the fourth question of what can I do, and the fifth question is where am I going? Where am I ultimately headed to? What is my destiny? Your destiny or your vision. Like, what is it that you're trying to build? What are you trying to create for yourself? And the thing about answering this question is that as soon as you have the answer, now you can be given the directions towards where you ultimately want to be. So many people come to me and they say, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my next step should be. I'm procrastinating right now. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, I don't know what you should do either, because you haven't necessarily told me where it is that you ultimately want to go. And I can't tell you where you want to go, because that would be immoral, in my opinion, because the answer really lies within you. It doesn't lie within me. I can only help you by guiding you and asking you the questions, giving you the exercises, but it has to come from within you. And then once I've got the answer, then I can give you the same directions. In the same way where if you're trying to get from A to B in a car, and you're trying to go from your house to a friend's house, and somebody says, you get lost, for example, you say, I want to go to my friend's house, and the person's like, well, I can't really help you because I don't know who your friend is and where they live. But if you say, okay, well, it's in Blackpool or it's in America, like, all right, bless, you're going to have to get a plane. You're going to have to go this direction. You're going to have to get a car, get a taxi, go this way, go left, go right. Then they can help you. And so it's really important that you have the answers to all 5 of these questions. And then once you do, you can have that real spiritual connection that's there and it's strengthened. And you'll be able to strengthen it through these exercises, because simply trying to answer the question right now of who you are, where you're from, it's gonna invite lies. It's gonna invite lies to come in to say who you are, where you're from, why you're here. The real way we do this is by bypassing the conscious mind, going straight to the subconscious in how we find the answers. So every single one of these exercises is going to blow your mind, and this is really some of the things that I've done in group calls, group coaching calls, one-to-ones with many, many people, literally hundreds of people, and it's just completely changed the way that they see themselves and their entire life. Like, for real, this is going to be amazing stuff. So I'm going to go into every single one of these, the individual exercises, and then we'll take it from there. All right?